What a weekend. What a weekend. We saw the crowning of a new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That of Alexander Usyk scoring the split decision victory. In a great fight, man. Like I already spoke about it. You can check on the previous videos. But yeah, sport keeps going. So we got the next big fight coming up June 15th. Well, really, it was supposed to be June 1st. We were going to get the Better Beef and Bivol fight. That's going to be, I would assume, later in the month. Or, I'm sorry, later in the year. Depending what happens with Better Beef's injury and, if he, heals up in time. And then, we get that fight. But, one of the fights that was creeping up that we were kind of waiting to hear whether or not, the fight was going to happen or not. We were hearing about it in March, and that is the return of Gervonta Davis against Frank Martin. Interesting fight. I'll make a separate video about that, which kind of has to do with this video here. We're coming off seeing Vasyl Lomachenko defeat or stop George Kambosos, getting the IBF lightweight title now around his waist. And we're coming off of this weekend. Again, big, pretty eventful weekend in boxing as it concerns what maybe some considered an upset. I don't think Usyk beating Fury is an upset. I mean, even if you thought he was the underdog, it's not an upset, so to speak. But we did see Emmanuel Navarrete and Denis Berinchyk. That was for the vacant WBO lightweight title, and I did not make a video about this, but I had told the crew, I think this is a tricky fight for Navarrete. I had seen Berinchyk fight before, and lo and behold, Berinchyk wins a split decision victory over Navarrete, which you start to question if, like, the normal circumstances, right, where you have, things within the bubble, right, where Top Rank has the IBF champion, now they have the WBO. They technically, at least at this time, they have the WBC champion in that Shakur Stevenson. So they have 3 of the 4 champions, but one fighter is leaving Top Rank, at least right now on the surface. And then the other is Vasyl Lomachenko. And then now you have Berinchyk, which I don't know if that was going according to script. Because on the surface, if you were to think the way Top Rank usually works and they want to do a unification, particularly if they have fighters that are within their bubble, they're going to do that, right? They would do Berinchyk against, let's just say, Lomachenko if Shakur is to leave Top Rank, and look, as I'm making this video, none of us know his immediate future after July. It's a concern if he's re-signing with Top Rank. Are they going to try to do this Lomachenko fight? Nobody really knows. I mean, nobody really knows. All I know is that Top Rank, I have a difficult time believing that they're going to throw Shakur Stevenson a Lomachenko fight without there being like a 3-4 fight deal attached. That could happen, and Shakur may take that. Now, what's the alternative? Vasyl Lomachenko, the one thing that has been missing in his career is what we termed, the bag fight, the big money fight, pay-per-view, like big pay-per-view. And we have June 15th with Gervonta Davis, Tank, and Frank Martin. Now, the winner of that fight, and that fight is for the legitimate WBA lightweight title. I can't think of a bigger fight I'd even argue for both guys, for Lomachenko and for Gervonta Davis, for these two guys to get it on in the fall for unification. I think with Top Rank, with Vasyl Lomachenko, like, seemingly closer to the exit door than he was 3-4 years ago, I really feel this is where Top Rank has to really try to go out of their way in some kind of capacity to make this fight between Lomachenko and if Tank wins June 15th. That is that is arguably on paper the biggest fight you can make in the immediate with what's available for both guys, because I know everybody's screaming for Shakur, and I think Shakur is going to at some point or another get an opportunity against one of these guys, but I just feel there's a story to be told on both sides of the spectrum. Where Lomachenko, again, he's never had that opportunity on the big stage. Pound for pound fighter, at one point he might have been ranked number 1. He hasn't had the opportunity to be on that stage. And because a lot of the times he didn't have the dance partner to really put him on that stage. Whether people like Gervonta Davis or not, and whether or not they think he hasn't fought anybody or what have you, he is box office attraction. Not like at a Canelo level yet. He could be there. But it's a fight with Lomachenko that I think, granted, the PBC and Top Rank would have to work together. It's been done before. I don't see why not. But I try to think about where both guys are at in their careers. And I still feel that while even Devin Haney has a win over Lomachenko, people dispute it. Where if Tank were to go in there and let's just say he knocks out Vasyl Lomachenko, that's a feather in his cap. Whether people want to disagree with me or not, that's a feather on the cap. Same thing with Lomachenko. If he's to get a win over Gervonta Davis at this stage, that's a hell of a feather on his cap. You know? And I think when you have criterias like that in boxing, they almost always equal dollars. Now the question becomes, who's going to chomp or who's going to extend the olive branch? Is a branch going to even be extended? You know, Tank put up that tweet about he wants next to Lomachenko, and he pulled it back. You know, and the criticism that Tank has gotten, like I said, whether you think he's not fought anybody or not, Lomachenko is still, particularly coming off of this Kambosos fight, he's still a fighter that a win for Tank, particularly if he win by knockout, that's a benchmark. I always talk about benchmark wins. And Tank, unfortunately, he doesn't have a benchmark win. He has a big pay-per-view with Ryan Garcia, but is that a benchmark win or is that just an event? You know? And look, we're all for the fighters making money, but it's still a competitive sport. And I think that's what Tank is kind of missing is your contemporaries. Like, who are the top guys in your division? Who are the champions in your division? And I think that's what the fans are calling for him to fight. But from the side of Top Rank, though, and I'll leave it to them because they have to be the ones that have to understand that Gervonta Davis is, in essence, the attraction, but at the same time being understanding that Loma is a big player here. And I think if Tank is saying what he's saying and he's legitimate about wanting to fight the best and wanting to be in there, here you go. Like, here you go. Even from the idea of like not wanting to fight Shakur Stevenson, a Lomachenko Gervonta Davis fight that's box office. Right now, that's a box office fight in the fall. So we'll have to get past June 15th and see how that ends up turning out. But I think if Tank beats Frank Martin, and particularly if he beats him pretty soundly, I think that calling is really there because there's really nobody else. I mean, do you guys want to see a Pitbull rematch? You know, we need to see him and Ryan again. There's really nobody at 135. I get the Shakur Stevenson fight. I want to see that too. I still think there's a little bit of marinating needed for that fight. And we'll see how that kind of unfolds. But I am all for a Lomachenko Tank fight if Tank beats Frank Martin in the fall. And I'll get to a video about that shortly. But let me know what you think. Should we get Loma and Tank in a PBC Top Rank co-promotion pay-per-view? I think it does good business, man. I think people are calling for Tank to fight somebody that like is a wow, like, oh shit, okay. We need that kind of fight for Tank, and I think he needs it too. He'll get paid, Loma will get paid, and this is how the sport works, man. Everybody got to break bread, and when it makes financial sense, and I think this will make financial sense, to be honest with you. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Again, we're still reeling off of this weekend's undisputed heavyweight fight. People are still talking about Alexander Usyk getting the win over Tyson Fury. We'll see how that future unfolds for both guys. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, man, I'm back. I'm making videos again. So leave me a note in the comment section. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll be back. Peace.